Unit 9. Planning. Track 29.
Recently, we decided to open a new sales office in New York. First, I arranged a meeting with the finance department to discuss the project. We prepared a budget with details of the various costs involved. Then we collected information about possible locations for the new office. We considered two options, one in Greenwich Village and the other near Central Park. After doing some more research, I wrote a report for the board of directors. Unfortunately, we made a mistake when we estimated the costs, as the exchange rate changed, so we didn't keep within our budget. We overspent by almost 20%. We had to rearrange the schedule for moving into the building because the office was not redecorated in time. The board of directors was unhappy because we didn't meet the deadline for opening the office by December the 15th. It finally opened in January. However, we forecast sales of at least $1 million in the first year.
Unit 9. Planning. Track 30.
How far ahead should businesses plan?
I think that depends on the size of the business. If you're a business that has a commitment from a client for 3 years, you have a 3-year contract, it makes sense to have a 3-year plan because you can project forward those revenues, you know that relationship will be in place, and you can make some assumptions about what you need to do as a business in order to deliver the requirements of that contract. But I think for a lot of other businesses, 3 years is a long time. For a lot of smaller businesses, new businesses entering the market, especially in technology, for instance, when who knows what trends are going to come into play next month. New software, new platforms. You really can't have a 3-year plan. For me personally, I like the idea of a 3-month plan because it feels very manageable. I'm not guessing. And I think that is the problem with business planning. It can sometimes be business guessing.
Unit 9. Planning. Track 31.
What are the best business plans you know?
I think the best business plans are ones that are simple and flexible enough to take into account changing markets and changing situations. Any plan that is too fixed or too set in stone becomes very unwieldy because it can't accommodate economic changes, market changes, technology changes.
Unit 9. Planning. Track 32.
Can you think of a business plan that failed?
Yes, I think there are thousands of business plans that have failed because you're not always going to get it right. Entrepreneurs and business owners cannot predict the future. And I don't think that's a bad thing that the business plans fail. I think it's important that we as entrepreneurs learn lessons. And if something's not right, we can adapt it. So I think failure is not a bad thing. I mean, I can think of an entrepreneur I met recently who has set up a very successful international web-based business where entrepreneurs and startups can create business cards very cost effectively. Now, when he was planning that business, he planned a previous version of it. And the previous version failed. And it was his lessons that he learned in that failure that led him to create version 2, if you like, which has been enormously successful. And I said to him, well, could you have ever anticipated or planned for what is the success now? And he said, well, no, because I was focused very much on something else. But I learnt my lessons, it didn't work, and now we created something else. So great. He is a success because he failed, that's fine.
Unit 9. Planning. Track 33.
We need to decide exactly when we're going to move. Any suggestions?
I think July would be the best time. It's very quiet then, isn't it?
You mean we don't do too much business then?
Exactly. Our sales are always down that month and quite a few staff are away on holiday. We could move all the office equipment at the weekend, do everything at once. And that's the best way.
Could I just say something?
Go ahead.
I think we should take longer to move. A weekend's too short. In my opinion, we should do it department by department.
How do you mean exactly?
Well, each week a different department can move. That way, there would always be people here who could handle customer inquiries, phone calls and so on.
See what you mean. Maybe it would be better to phase the move over several weeks. Of course, we'll have to keep our staff informed at every stage of the move. We can do that mainly by email. Now, moving on to the question of transport. We've contacted 2 companies, National Transport and Fox Removals.
Sorry, could I just comment on that, Mark?
Certainly.
I don't think it would be a good idea to use National.
Oh.
I've heard 1 or 2 things about them and I don't think they're very reliable. But Fox would be fine. They've got an excellent reputation in the trade.
OK, perhaps it would be better to use Fox then. You know, there's another possibility. We could get our own people to do the moving.
What? You think our transport department could do the job?
Why not? They're not too busy in July.
I don't think that's a good idea. This is a really big job. We need a specialised firm for that, like Fox. They've got the experience and will do a good job, even if it does cost us a bit more. Also, Fox offers a free consultation service.
You're probably right. I'll call Fox and discuss the relocation with them. I'll see if I can persuade them to lower their price a little.
Unit 9. Planning. Track 34.
You know, I think the magazine could do really well if we plan it carefully. There's a really big market for it, and I feel it's the right time to launch. The main thing will be to make it different from the other magazines out there.
Yes, it's got to have some unique features, but I'm sure we'll come up with some. OK, what about target consumers? I'd say we should be aiming at men and women in the 20 to 40 age range, right?
That makes sense to me. I think the magazine will also need to have clear sections. I've looked at a lot of health and fitness publications in the last few weeks. Some are an absolute mess. You've no idea where to look for the topics you're interested in.
Yes, we must have well-organised content and really interesting features. Maybe a regular feature on a celebrity, a film star or top athlete talking about health and fitness.
Yeah, that would be very popular, but pretty expensive.
It would really increase sales. People love reading about the lives of celebrities. Another thing, you know, once we get some readers, we need to keep their loyalty, so they go on buying the magazine. We must find ways of doing that.
Of course. The website can help us to stay closely in touch with readers and keep them buying the magazine. Do you think the online content should be free of charge?
I suppose we could offer some free content, then make readers pay a subscription for premium content. Extra materials like DVD workout programs, that sort of thing.
Okay, let's see what the teams think about that. They'll have plenty of good ideas for the magazine and website.
Liz Crede is an organisation development consultant. She believes that the results of any organisation can be improved by building the quality of the relationships within it, whether they're person to person, team to team, department to department, or organisation to organisation. Liz, what topics do you think a new health magazine should cover?
Well, it's a very competitive market, isn't it? So what would be appealing to today's reader? I think the first area is diet. So what do we eat on a regular basis, even through vegetarian and vegan diets, for example? And things like vitamin, health supplements, how might they help us? The second area is physical health. So how do you keep yourself in good shape without going to the gym? And the third area is mental health, I think. How do you think and feel about yourself in a way that's positive and really keeps you feeling healthy?
What's the best way of promoting a new health magazine?
I'm not sure I know the best way, but I have some ideas. The first is to offer it at a discounted rate at a health club or slimming club, so that regular members can buy it when they attend. The second is to offer it as part of a membership package of one of those clubs, so that members can get in the habit of reading it and then go on to buy it. The third is to offer a heavily discounted rate for, say, a year's subscription to allow people to really get to know the magazine and promote loyalty of readership. And the fourth is to have a 5-step programme in the magazine. So, for example, something that has a different step every week that readers have to follow in order to be more healthy.
How do you think online publishing will affect print magazines in future?
Well, I think it's definitely going to be a threat. But I do think it will be an addition rather than a replacement to magazines. I can think of many times when I flip through a magazine when I wouldn't be able to do that online. When I'm on the beach, when I'm in the garden, when I'm on a plane and waiting for the plane to take off. So there are times when magazines will still be the best way to read. And also I think there's something very physical about flipping through a magazine in a way that you can't do online.